That's a 5:33 arrival, so we'll see how we go. But just on our way out to a little gem in the Hunter Valley to try and target some Australian bass. Got some new TD zeros on the deck this morning and today, so we're going to give them a bit of a run, throw a couple of steez baits, and maybe some in-feed lures, and we'll just see how we go. This is it's a bit smaller than St. Clair, probably about a third of the size, but it's probably got some of the biggest bass in the Hunter Valley in it. It's pretty lucrative little dam. They normally eat anything. It is a bit moist today. We'll just see how we go. Just about to throw the boat in now on the agricultural ramp, so we'll just see what happens, and fingers crossed we can come across some big fat bass. So we just threw in at the little dirt ramp there. Looks like somebody just boarded out with a tractor, but we got the boat in. So we're at one of the Hunter Valley's lesser known dams. This is Lost Stock Dam. It's kind of gets overshadowed by Glenbourne and St. Clair. It's quite a small dam, 6 knots only, but you can have a petrol motor in here and whatnot. It's probably the size that you could fish it in a day, a solid day, but it's great for like a 1 or 2 day kind of little trip. But we've just come from Sydney this morning. It is beautiful Sydney weather, what we've come to expect in the last 2 months, I reckon. So it is raining, but I'm not too concerned about that. What I'm more concerned about is the water colour. It is a bit brown. This dam's typically known, like the rest of the Hunter Valley region, it's typically known for clean water, but also what it's typically known for are big bass, and there are some thick boys in here. There's some really good bass, and that's where this dam comes into its own. It has got big fish in here. They eat a variety of different baits. I'm probably going to focus on, with this watercolour now, I was going to try and do some topwater and jerkbait, but I'm pretty sure that's going to get thrown out of the way today. I'll probably end up throwing a couple of spinnerbaits and chatterbaits today. I'm going to go for the reaction bite, something that makes a little bit of noise so they can hone in on it a bit better in these water conditions. I've just got here tied on first up one of the new Steez Azrock spinnerbaits. This is 3/8 of an ounce. Just going to fish some edges. There's a bit of this kind of yucky pussy weed that's come up. There is some good ribbon weed underneath. Comes out to about 10, 12, 14 foot. So we'll try super shallow and then we'll work our way down. We'll also go up the back of the dam. We're still kind of in the main basin at the minute, so we'll just see what the day does for us. Hopefully this rain eases up a little bit. It's not too bad at the minute, but it's just that bit annoying kind of wet. So we'll just see how we go. Hopefully we can come across some big old bass today. So to make this this miserable Sydney weather day a bit better, I'm fortunate enough to be having on board a couple of TD zeros, the new 22 TD zero range. I've just got 4 rods on board today, 2 Baitcast, 2 spins, some of my favourite models. In the Baitcast, I've got the nice 722 MLXB down there. That's just a great all-rounder for most of the baits that I'm going to be throwing today. Couple of light spins on board as well. But we're going to shoot around today. I'm going to do a lot of junk fishing, just see what I can get bites on, see what happens. We're going to go, I'm thinking we're going to have to go right at the back of the dam, so we might have to do that soon. But we'll just see what the day throws at us. But it can't be a bad day if I'm going to be throwing these, so I'm looking forward to this. It's got a little 3/8 of an ounce Steez cover chatter. Little green pumpkin colour with a bit of bright chartreuse there. Yuzu tail in the 3.2 inch, which I've chopped down a little bit. And just in case they're a bit timid, I've gone ahead and threw a little stinger on there as well. All right, okay. All right, okay. No luck in the first area. It's a little bit tough. It's not lost stock, put it that way. I've had a feeling all morning we're going to go up the back of the dam. So we're going to probably make at the 6 knots it is, probably 20-minute run up the back of the dam. We'll go right up the creek, just bash some edges with some reaction stuff, work as much bank as we can, try and find some productive areas. Try and narrow down what they want to eat a bit more too. So we're just about to up and away, and we'll go up there and see how we go. I'm going to throw this Chad Mundo here. Rightio. So we've just made it up the river a little bit here. As you can see, very rivery looking. We just about got bogged up there. It went awfully shallow. But this looks really good. This looks promising. The water, I would say, would be a touch cleaner. There doesn't seem to be any of that crappy kind of slime weed up here. So that's a bonus. So it's easier to fish. I just saw a fish bite up in under this tree up here. There seems to be a little bit of weed up on the edge. So I'm just gonna keep working and hopefully get a bite. Haven't had a bite this morning yet, so it's a bit of a poor effort, but I promise I'm trying. So we'll just see how we go. Good depth. It looks a lot more promising than where we were fishing before. You wouldn't go and believe it, but we've just hooked up here. It's not a bad little bass either. This one's just on the chatterbait or on the cover chatter. Not a bad little bass at all, just on a little rock point here. He's a bit of an odd looking boy. Look at the beer belly he's got on him. But nonetheless, lost stock bass. Haven't caught one of these for coming on a 1.5 years now. So I don't care if he's a bit deformed looking, nobody's perfect. So I'll take that, just on the little 3/8 cover chatter. So that one's on the, this little fella's on the 722 MLXB. Perfect little all-round bass rod. It has that little bit extra length, so you can really peg stuff out there really well. Matches up well with a little bladed jig, spinnerbait, lipless crankbait, whatever it needs to be. But he's anal fin. He's really whack as well. So nonetheless, that's a nice little bass. Rock walls in a bass fishing situation should pretty much be a staple for all people. When we talk about versatility in a spot, rock walls pretty much have it all. You can fish super shallow. I've had sessions where if you're pretty much not hitting the rocks, or within an inch or two of hitting the rocks, you won't get a bite from a fish. But then at the same time, you can come out to that 15, 20, 25 foot mark, and there'll be fish schooled up through that kind of area. You can get those on chatterbaits, plastics, blades, that type of manner of stuff, spinnerbaits. But I love fishing them really, really shallow. And another really good thing about a rock wall is that you can be in 60 foot of water, but you can still throw top water. So I've just caught the last fish just back there. I've seen a boof when we went past. We didn't quite get him, but it's still quite overcast. So I'm going to throw a top water now and just see if I can tempt one to come up, because I'd love to catch one on top water today. Dip in some motivation. You got this. You little sod. On the paws. Oh, right there. Right there. There's one. Boy, he caught me off guard, and my drag was very loose then. It's true. He's not even a very big fish, but he went way too hard then. Super pale fish. Bite, next cast fish. I will take it. I thought he was a bit bigger than what he was, but he caught me right off guard. Little cover chatter, doing the damage again with a little 3-inch cut down, 3-inch minnow bait junkie. He's not a massive fish by any means, but with the recent developments on the cover chatter side of things, I'm going to give a spinnerbait another crack. This is just the standard Steez spinnerbait, but it's a little bit different. I've put an orange kicker on it, and also I've tied in a little bit of orange skirt there just to give it a little bit more flash. I actually made these originally for some rivers to fish the Clarence, the Hawkesbury, places like that. So with this little bit dirtier water, like I did say, the water is a lot nicer up the back of the dam here, but it is still a little bit dirty. So I was using like a kind of a naturally colour before in the spinnerbaits. So I'll swap over, go a little bit more out there. The chartreuse seemed to go all right for the cover chatter, so we'll give this a quick little crack and hopefully we can put a couple more basses in the boat. Right, spinnerbait works. Straightened her out a bit, but it's like a second cast of the spinnerbait. A little modified Steez spinnerbait here. Let's come up with some goods. Voldemort head on him. Useful.
Potters, the boy who lived.
He was right where he was supposed to be on that beautiful little lay down there. With most things fishing rock walls, again, like I said earlier, as close as you can to the bank. You always want to be as close as you can to the bank. I'm letting it, in this instance, I'm throwing this spinnerbait. You want to let it hit the bottom, so throw it out, hit the bottom, whether that's a foot or 10 foot up on these rock walls. Slow roll out. If you're as close as what I am here, I generally just slow roll it back. If you do make really long casts, hit the bottom, slow roll, and depending on the depth, if it's about 40 foot or 30 foot, I don't let it hit the bottom again. But if we're in 16 foot here, I'll generally let it hit the bottom once more halfway back and then slow roll it back again. Got a seeing to in there by a bass on that little white and orange spinnerbait. little stee spinnerbait, but I've white seemed to get the bite. So I've picked up the ASRock again. Bigger blades on them or whatnot, a little bit bigger profile. So we'll see if they can get bit, but first, there's a little bit of shavage there. So first port of call is new leader. I did have 10 pound on earlier, which is a little bit of a risk at lost stock from what I found in the past. So I'm going to go a bit of 14 pound X-length. We'll see if we can stop a few more of these. There's a fair few fish coming through now. They're sitting off the wall. There's a lot of timber kind of in the channel in that 10 to 15 foot mark. So I might start focusing on that and sinking it down and slow rolling it back through. So hopefully the ASRock can get some bites now. Spinnerbait eating bass. Probably the smallest of today. He's not bad though. The ASRock. Blue shad, doing the damage. Here we go. Oh, he bit that then. He bit that then so good, but he dropped it. Oh, that just cut it real hard then. Watch that. Whacked him, didn't I? I didn't have to whack the pool. A little bass on a little jig. There we go. He's getting a bit better size. He ate that a good like. Had a couple of bites in there now. One on the inside of the rock, one on the outside of the rock, and then this bloke on the front side of the rock. There is a little bit of current pushing down this river here, and he's the first one that actually held onto it properly. Haven't caught a jig fish in a long time, as you could probably tell by the strike. I got pretty excited there. So there we go, just fell out. But yeah, that's probably one of the better bass I've caught today. So that one's on the 702 MHFB. So I chose the MH because coming here I knew that it might be a chatterbait, spinnerbait jig bite. So I've chosen that because it's got a little bit more backbone in it. The guide train makes this a perfect rod for fishing jigs and stuff like that. You've got that titanium tip guides up here with the, as you can see, with the binding change. So we go to titanium sick, and then we've got stainless steel sick for the bottom half of the rod. So just that titanium, those titanium guides make it lighter at the tip because obviously weight reduction will make it lighter. So you can feel the bites, you can stay in contact with the jig a little bit better, makes sensitivity, it pulls it back down through the rod. And yeah, definitely was the undoing of this little fella anyways. There's one. Little dink. First cast with the jig, in a bit deeper water, around some trees and stuff. Definitely not a massive fish, but he ate the jig. He ate the jig well, so I'm going to keep on doing that, I think. Beautiful little fish. Biggest of the day, I reckon. Nice. Nice. That Steve's cover chat up. Pinned him in that real meaty section. That's a nice fish. But a really nice little bass there. Just ate it off a little rock wall, slow roll. Didn't eat it too aggressively, just a bit of weight there, and he started taking off, so that's one of the better ones from today. Just the thickness on his shoulders. These fish are in really good condition. Beautiful left-handers here. Stunning, absolutely stunning. So we've just come out of the main river here. We're gonna go and duck and have a quick look at the bank over here. See if we can catch some more fish just before we pull out. We've got a couple in the well that we'll show you soon. Just the ones that we've caught throughout the day. So we'll have a quick burn. We're kind of, I'd like to say main basin, but probably just up from the main basin kind of thing. Just probably, I'd say at the start of the river. If you don't go though, you know what I'm saying? It's all she wrote. That, sir, is all she wrote. Tried to jerk bait herself to success, but it didn't happen. Okay. Oh. There it is there. Whoop. There it is there, a nice little lost stock bass. This is the one with a bit of a bung back aft on him. But it just shows even a little deformity like that doesn't stop him. Look at how thick he is, really nice shoulders on him. Not a massive one by any stretch, but he's just a nice fish, so we'll let him go now. Yep. So just as the heavens open back up, just recapping the session today using the new TD Zeros. It was an absolute pleasure. I had 4 on the deck, as you guys know, 2 spin, 2 bait cast. Most of the damage was done on the Steve's cover chatter. Again, this is summer coral, 3/8 of an ounce. It's got a little chopped down 3.2 inch minnow there just to suit the size of the bait. I'm gonna wrap this up pretty quick because I'm getting wet. But the new Zeros, these are going to be available really soon. Probably the most exciting tech on these will be the new air sensor reel seat. So you might know that reel seat from other higher up models like the Infeed EX in the spin range, the Commander range. So the new air sensor reel seat, that filters down into the TD Zero. It's TD Zero's turn to get it. Just adds another level of sensitivity and lightness to the blanks, and they're a real pleasure to use. Really crisp, really sensitive, matched up with those titanium tip guides and the stainless steel sick through the midsection. An absolute pleasure to use. I've got about 10 of the existing model under the deck, and I absolutely love them, and I rate these ones even more than those. Some really good technique specific rods in the range, so make sure you go over to Dyer Australia, Dyer Australia's website, and check them out. You won't be disappointed with them.
Big boy.
Essentials: cheese bacon double dog, Dare double espresso, and of course some spud scallops.